Hey, bros.
Hey, buddy.
Welcome back, folks. It is episode 8 now of Three Bros and a Buddy. So I am your host, Paul Hine, and I'm here with my co-hosts today, Bennett Braden Karen and Drew Hamilton. So today we're going to be talking about the end of March Madness, NBA playoffs, and MLB opening weekend. So let's start with March Madness. So obviously we all know who won. UConn dominated the final. Let's go around and talk about the final.
Yeah. So obviously the best game probably was the first game of the weekend between Florida Atlantic and San Diego State. Florida Atlantic, I think, at one point was up by 13 points. And San Diego State came back and won on a game-winning shot. Great shot. Played really good offensively, surprisingly. They did not play well defensively, and they didn't play well defensively Monday night. But yeah, UConn was dominant. No surprise there. They played good on both ends. They were the best team in the tournament, and they won every single game by double digits. So, pretty dominant win for them. And yeah, they'll return a couple of guys, but I'm really impressed with the way the guards played. Snugo played all right Monday, but the guards, Newton and Hawkins, played pretty well. I think they led in scoring. So
Newton was first.
Newton, yeah, they played really well. So I mean, there's not much you can say. They earned it. They were the best team in the whole tournament.
Yeah, they absolutely dominated.
I mean, it pretty much looked like, for the final, it wasn't even a contest most of the time. I mean, to the point of it was pretty much a double digits game most of the game. I mean, they didn't get too close very often. San Diego State, I mean. So, Hammy put up the question: are they a blue blood? Let's talk about that. I mean,
I think first define what it is. Maybe some people don't know.
Yeah, so that would be Kentucky, Duke, UNC.
Kentucky, Duke, UNC,
Kansas,
Kansas,
right?
and UCLA are the 5, and then you
And
can
UCLA.
debate.
Wasn't Villanova?
Isn't Villanova technically in that category too?
Villanova's a new blood, not quite a blue blood yet.
Okay.
They got to win.
Okay.
That's fair.
I think they've won 3. I think
Alright.
they've won. Yeah.
I mean, I would definitely say, certainly in the women's tournament, they're the most dominant force. So you could consider them, if we're talking blue blood, is like historically the most dominant teams, right? That's kind of like the term is relatively.
Well, we're talking about the men's.
The men's,
side.
yeah.
I know, but I'm saying they already are on the women's side, and I think this year on the men's side helps them maybe get into the conversation.
I do too. I mean, UConn's always a good team. Like whenever they're in the playoffs, or in the March Madness tournament, even if they don't win it all, they're always making a run or something. So
Yeah, this is their national
I mean-
championship in about a decade. Shout out Dan Hurley. He coached a good group of guys. I mean, they were dominant. I mean, if they have something similar next season, I think that you could consider them that, but a blue blood, but maybe one more national championship.
Maybe like on the rise.
Yeah.
I would
But they need
absolutely.
one more.
I would absolutely call them a blue blood. I mean, 5 national titles
they're really good.
in 24 years with 3 different coaches: Coach Calhoun, Coach Ollie, and now Dan Hurley. Shout out to him and his brother Bobby. Love both of them. Duke products, but yeah, I would consider them a blue blood. I mean, every single Final Four they've been in, they've won, and it's pretty remarkable too because they haven't been in. I think I saw it was either 7 or 8 tournaments. They went through like a lull period where they weren't that good. But 5-0 in national title games, 5-0 every time they're in the Final Four. Well, that would be 10-0 overall. But yeah, they're definitely a blue blood to me. They've won 5 national championships overall. This is their second in the last decade, or third maybe. It
Third, I think.
might be third.
Well,
The Kemba one was 11, right?
Yeah, 11.
Yeah, so 3 and 12 is still really, really good. Yeah, I would consider them a blue blood for sure. I don't think there's any debate really with them. Like the ones that are debatable, like Indiana, Villanova, I would say that's probably it for right now. Yeah, but UConn to me is definitely in that big six for sure.
I could see that too, because I feel like UConn is most well known for their basketball. You know, like their football program is okay. Their baseball program has, you know, historically a lot of guys that go to the MLB.
Found a lot better. They're
But-
a top 25 team
Yeah,
consistently. That's
Yeah.
for years.
but historically they're more known for their basketball. So, you know, traditionally I would say, yeah, blue blood.
Absolutely.
That's, you know, when people think UConn sports, I feel like they associate it with the basketball program.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
even
that's
if you look at those blue bloods, I would say they've been more successful than Kentucky in the last decade. Kentucky hasn't won a title in the last decade now.
And they had the greatest college basketball team probably ever
Yeah.
that year
That
with
is
Carter
true.
Anthony Towns,
Um,
Julius Randle.
UCLA has only made one Final Four, and I think in that time period. Duke's last national title was 2015. The only one I really can't say that they're better than is probably UNC. Has been in 2 national titles, and they've won one. Yes, they've won one. They beat Gonzaga. And then Kansas. You know, they've been like one of the 3 best programs the last decade, I think, for sure. So yeah, they're a blue blood to me. The ones that are debatable are Indiana. I think Villanova for sure you can have an argument with, and I wouldn't disagree. Michigan State, Villanova, and Indiana. Michigan State, I feel like they got to win one more to be considered a one because they're always consistently good. But yeah, shout out to UConn, and then shout out to San Diego State, FAU. FAU is going to be really good again next year. They return that starting 5 basically. All their guards are going to be back. They're going to be playing in a better conference. They're going to be playing in the American Athletic with Houston. Well, Houston will be moving to the Big 12 with Oklahoma and Texas moving, but they'll be in a better conference. They'll have a better record, or they won't have a better record, but they'll have a better resume because of the teams they're playing. So expect them to be a higher seed, and I think they could do some damage again. They're going to have experienced guard play. San Diego State, a lot of credit to them. Great defensively, just didn't play well defensively for 2 games, but they're a great program, and they'll be back again for sure.
Do you guys think this was a good tournament?
Yeah, overall, I'd say it's a good tournament. I mean, you had 3 teams that they haven't made it to a Final Four
Yep.
with Miami, FAU, and then obviously SDSU.
SDSU. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it was good overall. Like we weren't just seeing like the Dukes, the Kansas, like
It was
I mean,
unexpected.
yeah, we had UConn obviously that just dominated, but I mean, it was overall it was good.
I think
Fun
it
to
got
watch, entertaining.
it certainly got different fan bases involved. It reached, you know, kind of different audiences than it usually does. You know, we talk about there's a lot of fans of those blue blood teams, and you know, I feel like especially with FAU and SDSU, you know, you're reaching conferences and teams that are a little bit, you know, less traditional for basketball, and you know, maybe growing some fan bases. You know, getting some schools' athletic programs to maybe put more into basketball for schools like FAU and SDSU, knowing that you can have a chance and anything can happen. It's basically the reality of what we saw in this tournament of, you know, a lot of upsets. You know, they're becoming more and more common, and the lower seeds making it very far is becoming more and more common. So, you know, for Division I basketball programs, you know, mid-majors can now invest more money or can feel better about investing more money into their programs because, you know, this shows that it's possible that they have a chance, you know.
Yeah, it's really not even about the money. It's about the transfer portal now. The transfer
And
portal
that too.
is so open. I think every single
Part of that is because of COVID across college sports.
Well, yeah, the COVID year, but also just the transfer portal is more utilized. I mean, I honestly think if, you know, we're seeing these Duke, Kentucky's, we're seeing these programs who traditionally get the best freshmen are now kind of struggling or aren't having as good of years. It's because they're getting these young kids and I don't think they're utilizing the portal as well. I think programs like Duke are starting to do a better job of it because the portal is so beneficial because the portal you can get guys that have already played college ball. I mean, look at who's going to be on the portal this year. You got Hunter Dickinson. Hunter Dickinson would be like a very, very good scoring center for a lot of teams. And there's a bunch of other guys that are going to be on. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Jeremy Roach from Duke is on the portal this year. So this is a lot of veteran guys. There's a lot of guys that play for top programs that go in the portal and go to these mid majors. But yeah, the transfer portal has definitely been the big equalizer, in my opinion. It's been really, really good for the sport.
I think there's certainly been more transfers across college sports since COVID started, since there were some athletes that were given extra years of eligibility. It basically put some guys behind who thought they were going to have starting spots, and they ended up not having them anymore because guys could fifth and sixth and even seventh year in some cases. And so you're seeing a lot of guys transferring out, going to smaller schools where they know they're going to start. And honestly, I think it's good for college sports because it spreads some of the talent out, and it will spread it will grow fan bases more that haven't historically been there across college sports, not just college basketball. But it's funny because it seems like for the Final Four, the audience that usually is there wasn't quite as there this year because the men's Final Four saw a decline in audiences compared to last year, averaging 12.34 million viewers on CBS, which is down 17% from last year on Warner Bros. Discovery, TBS, TNT, and True TV channels. So a lot less people watching this year. Almost a fifth of your audience, almost, is gone. Why do you guys think that is? Do you think it's just because of the schools? I want to hear from you two because you haven't talked a lot yet. Do you think they lost a lot of viewers because of the fact that there were mid-majors in there?
Yeah, I would just say just the popularity of the teams. You're watching, most people probably to watch your favorite team, and obviously people are going to be more big fans of the blue blood teams. You're going to be wanting to see a Kansas, Alabama, but obviously within FAU, SDSU, these aren't these big, I mean, they're obviously good schools, but they're not these big pronounced basketball programs that have dominated
Right.
and that a bunch of people know of. To be honest, Florida Atlantic, I didn't even really know they had a college basketball team until this year whenever I saw them upset though. Or make it all the way to the Final Four. So I saw yeah.
I wonder though, if you're a true college basketball fan and you get really into March Madness every year, I know you get really into March Madness every year, Amy. Does it matter the teams, or is it kind of good when there's some teams that are outside the tradition where it's oh, this is historic, I want to watch this because it's historic, or no, because it's not the traditional good teams?
I would say this is a variety of things that have gone, and this is a whole deeper conversation, but I feel the quality of play has been worse these last couple of years, and that has to do, again, with the freshmen having their growth stunted because of COVID. So there's that factor. The shot making is terrible. It's really bad. Nobody can hit a shot. But yeah, no, I'm always excited. I think the general consensus with big time college basketball fans is there's always excitement around it.
No matter who's in it.
Yeah, I would say so. But I mean, this was a very, very rare thing. It was an anomaly. It's only the third time since I think 85 or 88 that a non-top 3 seed has won the national title. I mean, if you even look at the women's game, LSU was a 3 seed and they won the national title. I think that's the lowest. I think that's the lowest seed in a while. It's usually a 1 or a 2 in women's basketball. But yeah, I think it's tough. It's tough. I think this year is so much of an anomaly that it's kind of hard to judge. But I was excited for it. So yeah.
The final slumped to 14.7 million viewers, just to put that out there. But how do you think they get some of the fans that didn't watch the Final Four back? How do they get their interest back? Do you think it comes back if there's the traditional blue blood or historically good teams in the Final Four again next year? Or do you think it stays kind of relatively the same?
I mean, again, like it's a variety of factors. It's coaches, it's programs, it's conferences. I mean, I'm an ACC guy, so like obviously, I mean, I wasn't supporting Miami, but I want to see Miami play there. Duke plays them twice a year, so I want to see them play. UConn, Big East, it's just you got to have big conferences in there. You're gonna have one of the Big Six, the Big East, the Big 12, Big 10, SEC,
Yeah.
ACC, Pac-12. It's
True.
just that type of thing. And also stop playing the games at 9:30 in the East Coast.
Yeah.
God damn it, bro. Every single year, it's like, why?
Yeah, I mean, no one.
This is why I want to live on the West Coast, man. Think about that. Sunday night football at 5:30. You're in bed.
Yeah,
You're gonna stay up till 12.
yeah.
Exactly.
A lot of people don't want to stay up that late to watch, the whole game at least. There's probably more viewers tuned in for the first half, especially for the finals where UConn was up.
Winning by 12.
Yeah, up double digits most of the game. A lot of people probably turn the TV off after halftime. I would assume. I mean, I don't have the actual numbers to back that up, but I mean, it's very possible that could be the case because the final was the lowest all-time audience for an NCAA men's basketball final ever, which is kind of striking to me. And I don't think it means the NCAA is in trouble, but I do think it means that they're going to end up a little short of where they want for their financial goals for the year because March Madness rakes in 90% of their money. And that's a proven fact that rakes in 90% of their money. I'm not just pulling that out of my ass.
I hope not.
So, I think maybe next year it could be better. I think what you were talking about with maybe changing the game times earlier for the East Coast would make a big difference.
It's like that.
What do you guys think would be like a reasonable time to put the games on in East Coast? Like 7?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
7 o'clock?
6:37.
And then the game gets over around 9:30.
Yeah. And then,
About 12.
even older viewers are, staying up that late. So there's no issue there. Like you're not losing your older audience because they're getting tired and going to bed. And you're not losing your younger audience because they would stay up anyway.
Yep.
So I feel like you would have more retention if you did move the games earlier. But yeah, I mean, I actually enjoyed learning more about March Madness this year than I had really ever before. And I really can't wait to watch it again next year, honestly.
Yeah.
Do we have any more thoughts on that? I know me and Hammy have been talking a lot. Do you guys have any additional thoughts to anything we said? Or not? I'm sorry, I should have thrown it to you two more.
Yeah, I feel like we covered the majority of it. I think it's all good. I'll
Do you have
talk
anything?
more
We're all
next,
thinking pretty much the
next
same
segment.
thing.
I'll talk more.
All right. Do you guys want to move on to the NBA?
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't one of you two start?
Okay.
Let's go with like how the playoffs look right now.
Playoff looking. Okay. So I don't even know where.
First, I want to start with a big team to highlight, and this is a team we talked about right around the trade deadline, and I think we all were in agreement, right? That the Lakers are good.
That
we
Lakers,
thought that-
baby.
We thought that they were going to turn around. They're going to be a playoff team, and we thought that they're going to be able to compete for a championship potentially. And as of now, I think that's a good pick. I mean, they've turned it around. They're in the 7th seed, 4-game win streak. I mean, I don't know. There's not a lot to like look at them and be like, I don't think they could do it. I think they could.
They got a really good constructed roster, just a really good roster. If Anthony Davis is dropping 30 points a night, they're going to be hard to beat.
Hard to beat.
They got the Clippers tonight. I want to watch that game. It's going to be a really good one.
I think they got the same record.
Right. It's a battle for that, actually,
Sixth
sixth spot, right? Who's in the 5 spot
Yeah.
right now?
Warriors.
Warriors, right?
And they're only a game
It's like a
ahead. They just
game.
have one win on them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Same
it's
rosters.
going to be a really good finish.
Clippers and Lakers are only 3 games behind the Suns too,
I'm telling you,
who are on a 6-game win streak.
if the Lakers, if they get the Kings and even the Grizzlies, that's a really good matchup for them.
I think that's a potential matchup.
It's a really good matchup.
Well,
The only one I'd be worried about them playing.
Ja's back now, right?
It's good to see the
The
Warriors in the
Grizzlies?
5 spot too.
Yeah, she is back.
Yeah, he's been back.
And they're playing really good basketball, the Warriors are right
I'm
now.
glad they're back in there because they were falling towards like the 9,
Yeah.
10, and we're like, ooh, like, but I know you've said this. I know I've said this, that we were like, you can never count the Warriors out.
No, they're just
They're
well
gonna be
coached.
there.
They're
Yeah,
well
exactly.
coached.
Their roster.
And I think when all 5 of them play, when it's Clay, Jordan Poole, Curry, Draymond, when it's their starting 5 on the floor, they're the best. They're the best starting 5 in the league efficiency wise. So it'd be tough to beat themselves. I just that 4 or 5 matchups could be great. Whether it's Phoenix, the Clippers,
Mhm.
Phoenix, the Lakers, or Phoenix and Golden State, that's gonna be a fantastic series.
I mean, anytime you have Steph Curry on the floor, you get a chance. You know, dude's made the most threes in NBA history.
That is true.
That
That is a fact.
That is very true.
Okay.
What do you guys think about? I know we have some friends who are Celtics fans. They've been kind of struggling a little bit lately compared to what they had been. What do you guys think about the Celtics right now?
I mean, I'm not too worried about them. I mean, they're a great roster. They just, I mean, you can get a little cold sometimes. I don't think this
True.
is gonna affect them in
So
the
it's
playoffs.
just a cold
Yeah,
streak.
I
It's
don't.
not.
I don't think it's gonna.
Not
I
anything
mean,
to
they
worry
also
about.
just beat the Bucks by 40. So it's like,
Yeah, true.
what do you take in more account?
What do you
Dominating.
mean
the
they're
Bucks?
not? They haven't been looking good lately.
I mean, I feel like I've
They
been
were
seeing
on
a
a-
lot more.
Well, I mean, they're 7-3
They
the
were
last 10.
they were on a
But
crazy
be-
they were on a
but
crazy
before-
pace. Like obviously
Before
they
that,
were-
they weren't playing as well as they have been. But I mean, they're a great team. Like, I don't see any struggles coming for them in the playoffs. Besides, I guess, losing to the Bucks.
You said something earlier that
Maybe
before we started the show that interested me, which was you said they had the perfect roster construction to beat the Bucks. Why?
Well, they have 4 guys that you can put on Giannis. I mean, you can put obviously Rob Williams, Grant Williams, Al Horford. You can put really any of those guys on him, and I feel fine. They also have Tatum, who can, he can help. They just have the perfect roster to guard him. You need length to guard him. You need some, some physical girth to guard him. Like Rob Williams is a big dude. He can guard him, and he's mobile. And it comes down to Giannis's help. Last year he doesn't have Chris Middleton in that series. They have Chris Middleton, they win. We'll see. Drew Holiday played really well there. They had like 50 points against the Pacers or something like that. So they just have a really good constructed roster to beat the Bucks. The problem is they're going to play the 76ers probably in the second round, which I'm not totally worried about because we know what they do in the playoffs. They choke.
especially against the Celtics. They never beat the
But the only problem I worry about is Embiid. And Embiid's been really
He's a problem.
unstoppable this year. He had 35 last night, like we were saying, on 80%.
He's always a force.
I think they would play the Cavaliers.
The Celtics would,
Oh, are we talking about the Celtics? I
Yeah,
thought
we're
you were
talking
talking
about
about the
Celtics.
Bucks playing the 76ers.
or
The Celtics would play the 76ers.
Yeah,
the
that's-
Bucks.
Okay.
that's
the
what I
Bucks
thought we
would
were talking
roll
about.
I think the Bucks are going to make the Eastern Conference Finals probably fairly easily.
They
I
might-
think we see a Bucks Celtics rematch. In the finals,
Absolutely.
Eastern
I think so.
Conference
And
I mean,
I
that's
wouldn't doubt it.
yeah.
as a Celtics fan, I feel very confident in that matchup. I just think we have a roster constructed to beat them. And I think Celtics got to
I think we have a
Yeah.
deep. I think we would have a deeper roster.
I mean, I would disagree with that. I feel like they got a roster that's really talented. I think we got a better one too. I think Giannis is better than Tatum, but I think Brown's better than Middleton.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's.
Yes.
I mean, particularly, I meant like I
Depth.
meant depth.
I know what you're
meant
saying.
Depth.
Yeah, I know. I
Not
would agree with that. I think
Not
having
necessarily like-
Malcolm Brogdon
Probably because you have
coming off the bench, I think that's
Derek White
insane.
coming off the bench.
Derek White, who's played really well, been a
I
great.
don't know. Is Al Horford coming off the bench?
Al's starting.
He's starting.
He's starting.
Al's, he's played pretty well. He's still. I don't get it. He's like, what is he? 36 now? 37.
He's an old.
He's played better since he's gone back to
been so
Boston.
consistent, yeah.
I've-
He's aging like fine wine.
Yeah.
Well, he started struggling with the Sixers there, but
There are some athletes
got
that
back
do
to
get
Boston.
better with experience.
Well, no, it's not that he's not. It's that he's just changed his game. He shoots more. He shoots the 3 ball actually pretty well for a big guy with
The weird form.
the weird form like that. Big Al, man. We love Al Horford. But Celtics, it's going to be the Celtics, Bucks, or 76ers. I really love what the Nets are doing. I think the Nets could be fun against, like, if they play the 76ers in the first round. I think they could maybe win a game or two.
yeah.
But besides that, like, I don't see it. The Cavs, what the Cavs and the Knicks.
I'd like to see that. I want to see the Cavs get to the second round. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see Donovan Mitchell and those guys.
I think they have it because Donovan Mitchell has proven that he can perform in the playoffs. And you're going up against a team who has probably minimal playoff experience. I mean, you have Julius Randle who can get you 30 a night, and Jalen Brunson has also been unbelievable this year. The Mavericks should have kept him, but I think the Cavaliers would beat the Knicks, and I think the 76ers would beat the Nets.
Speaking of the Mavs, I saw a tweet the other day that said
Who said anything about the Mavs?
Ben just mentioned the Mavs.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
Jalen
So-
Brunson.
I saw a tweet the other day that said basically Kyrie has single-handedly in 60 days
Ruined
ruined the
Mavericks
Mavs.
season.
Yeah, and are there problems between him and Luca? It kind of
I mean,
seems
I
like
would
it. I've
say,
seen
like,
some tweets that allude to that.
you could possibly see like personal issues stemming from the fact that they're both two very ball dominant players, and the way they affect games is having the ball in their hand, scoring.
Yeah,
And I've seen a couple times where people have had issues with Kyrie taking the final shots in games instead of Luca. But I mean,
has
Kyrie,
Luca played worse since he's been there?
Yes. Yeah.
his production has definitely decreased. I think he was averaging 30
He was.
something points.
His
And
stats were
I
unbelievable.
think he's down probably to 28.
And
a
he's
game.
very frustrated. You could
28
just,
a game is still very good.
well,
I
you
mean,
could
yeah,
just visibly see the frustration. It's
He's still averaging 30.
Kyrie is
I think it's
a,
a team chemistry thing.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, he
Kyrie does that. He goes into different team situations that aren't playing awful, and then
he's
he
toxic.
basically- yeah,
He's
he just
terrible.
brings-
I really hope he goes to a dumpster fire next year.
Yeah,
I
that-
really hope he goes to a team that wins 12 games and he has to play because that's
Yeah, he sat there
That's-
thinking that he didn't need LeBron to win. He's like, I need to prove myself. I need to be a one option. LeBron was the only reason he won. He goes to the Celtics. He can't play. He
they
was
play
hurt.
better without him.
He was hurt majority of the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
They made it to the Eastern Conference Finals against LeBron without him. And then you look at him going to other teams and like the Nets.
Okay.
He had a ton of issues. Didn't want to play.
Do you think?
Comes to the Mavs.
sorry.
He's just not a performer.
Do you think
Terrible.
if it doesn't work out with the Mavs, do you think this is kind of Kyrie's last chance? Like teams see the trend where the past few teams he's been kind of imploding the culture a little bit and say, we don't want him anymore? Or do you think he still gets opportunities after the Mavs if he chooses to go to another team?
NFL team still signed Antonio Brown, right? After they knew his character.
True.
Exactly.
Kyrie's gonna
Kyrie has
I
a
mean, you
terrible.
can't take away from the fact of how good of a basketball
Yeah, he has a
Yeah.
bad personality. He's
Yeah.
probably not good for your locker room, but he's still one of the
Or for
most
your
talented.
PR.
talented.
You can't put him with a
I
guy
have a
who
take
could
about
like
him.
potentially like take away from the fact of him being like the one on the team, like him being the two, because that's when it's.
I feel like he needs to be a
LeBron.
one.
He needs to be with LeBron. Send him to the Lakers.
That'd be awesome.
Revive
But they
the
don't
career.
got money.
That's true.
So that's not happening. I honestly want him to go. Where could he go? That's terrible. Washington.
Put him on the fucking.
Oh, they got
Hornets.
Brad Beal.
We'll take him.
Hornets, Pistons.
We'll take him.
You'll
The
take him.
Pacers.
You'll
I
take
don't
him.
know. I have a take about
That would be
Kyrie.
bad.
That would be.
I'm seeing a
Especially because we had Tyrese.
little bit of a Russell Westbrook effect going on with him,
Who?
where it's just like he goes from one team and then he's switching teams, and you just see the production slowly decrease to where he almost is better when the teams are better when he's just not playing.
Well,
But Russell Westbrook
Yeah.
has played well with the Clippers this year because their system that they're playing him with is working.
mhm.
They have a good system with him, but that's kind of what I'm seeing. The Kyrie's kind of like
So who do you think
slowly
has the
withering
right
into
system for Kyrie then?
a good system for Kyrie is just they're not going to be top 6 seed. They're going to be a below average team, but you can't have like a superstar. He needs to go where there's like quality players.
I feel like honestly,
the
like you said, the
Bulls.
Hornets, right?
Yeah, the Hornets. I
I
mean,
don't like
Well, they have
the Bulls.
LaMelo.
because Lamelo's not a superstar. Lamelo is
Not
he's
yet.
an all-star, but I wouldn't
want to jeopardize anything.
I feel like the Bulls. They feel like they have. I mean, they're close. I feel
Tomorrow
like
and Zach.
give him to the
DeMar,
Raptors.
Zach.
the Raptors. Yeah, but they probably wouldn't do it.
The
The
Jazz.
Spurs definitely would not do it.
No.
The Spurs would actually. That would probably be good for him if he went to San
Honestly,
Antonio
trade
with
Damian
Popovich.
Lillard for Kyrie. Portland's not a competing team anymore.
I mean, we've already
Send
talked
Kyrie
about
there.
on this podcast how Damian wants to stay in Portland, though, right?
Yeah, he does, but
Oh,
he
but
just needs to get
Damon-
the hell out of
But a sign and trade with the Mavs, and imagine Dame and Luca. I think that would
there.
work.
I think
I
it
would
would work.
I think that would work. That would be
explosive
really fun.
combination.
Because you're basically
Again,
having,
still no defense, but
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
they need defenders.
they just gotta
They
fill
just
that
need
with other
defenders. I
players.
feel like losing Jalen Brunson really hurt them.
Yeah,
this
they're just
offseason.
not building a team around Luca that is gonna win.
But Luca doesn't
Which-
need a 1A. He needs just
He needs
he needs a B. He needs a
very
really
good.
good B.
Yes, he needs good role players that can play defense and shoot threes.
He's a LeBron-esque type of player that I feel like is when you watch Luca, I feel like sometimes he could be a better distributor of the ball than I think a scorer. Like LeBron's the best scorer of all time, the most dominant scorer of all time. He leads the league in scoring. So, but he's a better passer than he is a scorer, I think. So,
Yeah, I agree too.
you know, I don't know. Mavericks are a mess. Also, shout out to Oklahoma City, man. In that 10 spot right now, Shea playing really well.
Shea's a stud.
They don't got Chet yet. They're going to get another good draft pick. Josh Giddey playing well. They're a really fun team.
Maybe
Really-
get Bryce.
Who do you have winning the
Bron
play-in?
James.
So right now we got the Lakers playing the Pelicans, right, or the Timberwolves.
Pelicans.
Man, Brandon Ingram's been balling too. Really. I'm going to take the Lakers if it's in LA, and then I'll take
Timberwolves and Thunder.
Minnesota.
I think Minnesota wins this.
Anthony
series.
Edwards. And then I'll take. We'll go with the Timberwolves to get the 8th seed.
I think the Timberwolves would beat the Pelicans too.
Yeah, I would do that. And then, I mean, as of now, from the West, I think it's either one of 4 teams. I think it's Phoenix. I think it's the Clippers. I think it's the Warriors, or I think it's the Lakers. Any one of those 4. I do not think the Nuggets can do it. I don't think.
I agree.
I don't think the Kings can
I don't
do
think
it.
they
I
have
don't
a
think. And I
championship built roster.
don't think the Grizzlies can do it. I also don't want the Grizzlies to do it because I can't. I don't.
I would not. I would not.
I don't like that team.
You know, like the viewership numbers are just cool. NBA Finals.
I don't
the
like-
Grizzlies right there.
I hope they lose in the first round.
I don't know. I'm probably just gonna stick. I think I said this beginning of the year when we first. I think our first podcast we talked about NBA predictions, and
Probably.
I
Might have been our
I think I
second.
picked the Bucks versus the Warriors. I'm gonna stick with the Warriors. They've been playing a lot better since they've gotten a couple guys from the trade deadline.
And aren't they getting
become
Andrew
healthy.
Wiggins back here soon?
Yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully Andrew Wiggins is healthy by
I hope
playoff
he
time.
just dominates.
And-
He was great
And
last
I
year.
mean, obviously their team breezed through the West last year and handled the Celtics, and it's still Steph Curry. You still have a good leadership with like Draymond. You have a good system with Steve Kerr, and I
Got a
think
really
this-
good scorer in Jordan Poole. when he
yeah,
gets to
exactly.
score.
I think this team is built.
You always have Klay
built for
Thompson
championships.
hit 10 threes on any given.
But I wouldn't be surprised if a team like the Lakers or Clippers did.
I would love to see the Clippers, man. I was thinking about today. I'd love to see PG and Kawhi. It'd be really good because remember when they put that core together, we thought that they were going to
the
do it.
greatest team ever.
They were going to be great. And I'd also like to see Russ in that spot as
Win
well.
two.
I like to see Russ with finals just to kind of shove it in the league's face for
Yeah,
everybody.
he gets
Talking
disrespected a
about-
lot,
he's
and
very
I mean we've
disrespected.
all. I mean I've
All the
I've
Westbrook stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just like I look on it and I'm like, we didn't. He was playing. He is a hard worker and stuff. It's
He
just
works
like
harder than as
it's the type of
hard as
style
anyone
he
in the league.
plays that it's like it's tough to sustain that. He's an athletic freak, and he's not good for today's like NBA. He would have been really good in the '90s
Yes.
and early 2000s. Just doesn't fit today's mold because he's not
Just
a
not a
great
shooter.
shooter.
Yep.
But yeah, no, the Lakers would also be great for if LeBron wins it this year.
Greatest player of all time.
There's like no debate
Like,
anymore.
I would
love-
There would be no
honestly-
debate.
Great storyline. LeBron passes career all-time scorer and then also wins his 5th NBA championship.
And then I don't want to
And
hear stuff about
think-
AD anymore. And
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think AD has been disrespected a little bit the past couple of years just from his injury problems. But when he is on the court, he is a top 8, top 10 NBA player. I mean, he has been dominant in some performances this year when he's fully healthy. And AD's he's a beast.
yeah, if the Lakers win, how many years has LeBron been in LA? It's his 5th, right? 4th?
2019.
Yeah, so 4th.
Yeah. If
2
he wins
championships in 4 years.
4 years, that's pretty damn successful. That's
I'd
pretty.
say so too.
That's pretty.
Especially how they started out the beginning of the year
Yeah,
to lead them all the way back to making the playoffs and then winning
and
the
playing
championship.
probably still very injured. He's probably not healthy yet.
Oh, probably not. And he's still avraging. basically
That
triple-double.
interview was so funny when the reporter's like, how did you come back so quickly from injury? And he's like, I'm LeBron James.
That's a great answer.
It's just like,
He's,
he's just a freak.
Yeah, that makes
yeah,
sense.
he's better
he's-
than Tatum.
He's the best athlete. He's
We've gotten Nate to admit that.
He's the greatest athlete. of
Did
all
you hear
time.
about that? We got him to admit
good.
that.
He's the best athlete of at least my lifetime. One of the best, besides probably Michael Phelps and like Usain Bolt. But
I mean, we've already been over our Mount Rushmores outside, like off air of this podcast, but yeah, he's certainly the best basketball player of our lifetime, like no question. Probably of all time, definitely.
I think Kevin.
I think all the time.
We've had that debate before, though.
If he wins it this year, there's no more.
Yeah,
debate.
there's
There's
no
nothing
more
that
debate
there.
after that.
If he wins it this year, there's no more arguments that you could talk about that could say
Yeah.
Mike's better than him. You can't.
you would have 1,
Yeah.
2 in Miami, 2 in LA.
Plus, honestly, if you're looking at Mike's career, yeah, he won. He was 6 for 6 with finals, but there's a lot of years where he lost first, second round to teams that were
He also-
teams like the Pistons, teams like the
Well,
Celtics.
Are we talking like early '80s?
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I
like,
mean, early
He's-
'80s. We
LeBron,
didn't have a great team.
LeBron made it
in
to
the
like
early 80s.
LeBron made it to 10 finals, and Michael Jordan only made it to 6.
I feel like
True.
Michael Jordan wasn't he drafted in like '88?
Yeah, it wasn't late 80s. Early 80s. It was like
Oh, it wasn't early
it
80s.
was late 80s.
Maybe it was late '80s. My bad.
late 80s. Because
but-
the first one he made was in 90.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
was-
No,
he
I'm
was
sorry. It
drafted in
was
84.
it was definitely late '80s. It was like mid to late '80s.
Well, that's when he started really.
He won his first one in 90, I think. Right?
But,
Or
um,
91, 92, 93. And then
Yeah.
But yeah,
I saw Nick Wright posted. He said this. It actually makes a lot of sense. He goes, "People act like Michael Jordan's career was only 6 years long
Right.
because all they do is talk about the 6 years he won the NBA."
I mean, he was great besides he's a great scorer, but if you look at it too, he never won a playoff series without Scottie Pippen. I'm not saying Scottie Pippen's the reason they won those titles, but it's just a fact. You know, it's just the type of thing. Michael's great. I don't want to diminish Michael. Michael, we never got the privilege to see him play.
yeah.
Everybody wanted to be like Mike. You can't lie. When you first played basketball, you want to be like Mike.
I think he's probably the most famous sports figure of all time.
Well, yeah, obviously.
I mean, his brand is
His
huge.
brand, yeah, it's massive.
Yeah.
It's like an offshoot of Nike. It's the Jordan brand.
It is the offshoot of Nike.
Yeah, it's but at this age he wasn't as good as LeBron, and it's also a thing. He didn't take as good of care of the body, but nobody did back then. I mean, he was smoking cigars and playing golf before he went and played a game,
and shit,
gambling. You know, just that's also what makes him so great is he could do that.
and then
And
still
and
be the
still
best
drop
player on the
50 on
planet,
you,
and
yeah.
still be the best
Yeah.
player on the planet.
Yeah.
All right. Do we want to talk about MVP?
Yeah,
Sure,
who's
so
our
you-
pick?
This 3-way.
So I had me put down MB for MVP? Question mark.
That was
That was you.
That was him.
Oh, my
I
bad.
was gonna say Nikola Jokic. Nikola Jokic is like the most efficient basketball player ever. He's averaging triple double still. He's got his team first place. I mean, I feel like this is the year he actually really
he's
deserves
actually
it the
not
most.
averaging a triple double.
Is he not? What
He's
is he?
averaging 9.8 assists.
Oh,
So
shut
Boo.
boo.
Yeah.
He's still very efficient. I would
And they're the ones he still knows.
I would probably give it to him or the way he's been playing lately. I would not be opposed to you saying Joel Embiid. But really, the MVP every year is LeBron. So who cares? But Jokic MVP 3 times in a row, probably the worst 3-time MVP. It's gonna be weird when we look back on it, and it's just like Nikola. You're just gonna look at a time period when Nikola Jokic was in 3 years in a row, and like what happened?
This guy never
Yeah,
won a
like,
championship. Who is
this
this guy?
Yeah, you have LeBron, you have Giannis, you have a bunch of amazing players in the league.
Curry.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
for my MVP,
Kawhi has one, right? Kawhi doesn't have
he
one.
does not have an MVP.
Right.
Curry.
Or he has
Two
a finals MVP.
two of
Yeah.
them. Yeah, so my
He
MVP,
ran, I think he was runner up in like was it 18?
You're
okay, yeah, so my MVP, I'm gonna go with Giannis. I think he's the best player on the planet. He
I was gonna say the
has
same
the
thing.
best team in the NBA. He's averaging 31 points, 12 rebounds, and 6 assists. He's a freak. And again, they have the best team in that
the
whole
Greek
NBA.
freak.
So,
really
yeah,
nicknamed.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna go with Giannis
What
because
was that?
he's
That's his nickname.
he's unbelievable.
I know, but why did you say that?
I think when it comes down to a series, I think he would be Joel Embiid, and I think he would be Nikola Jokic, and those are his 2 people he's battling for MVP for.
Yeah, I was gonna say Giannis.
That's so fucking because that's literally who I was gonna say.
You said
So-
Giannis too?
I was gonna pick Giannis.
Oh man.
All right, so we're at
Oh,
least
no.
we're mostly in agreement then.
It's just Jokic is averaging like 24 points, and I don't
That is true. That is true.
But also at the same time, he might be the best passer in the NBA.
you gotta look at the advanced stats.
But Giannis's
Yes.
defense is like he could be the best.
He could be defense player of the year and
That's the.
Yeah,
I,
he's
I mean, I don't like. This is also like me, like being like, I don't think Jokic should win it, but also like, who do I think? Plus, who do I think people are gonna vote for? And they're gonna vote for Jokic because his efficiency, just how efficient he is, and yeah, he's just very efficient, great passer, and I wouldn't be. I love Giannis, and I'd honestly love Embiid too. I'd love to see Joe.
I,
I
I
mean-
I think it's Giannis Embiid for me, and then Jokic. I mean, I also think it's somewhat of like voter fatigue for me with Jokic and winning 2 in a row already.
Yeah.
But like at the end of the day, like
I feel that. And plus,
He
Joel
could
Embiid has been
very well
top
deserved it.
top 3 MVP. He has not had one yet. Giannis and Jokic obviously have one. So Embiid getting his first one, and he's also leading the league in scoring right now. And he has averaging
As a
12
center,
12
he's
rebounds
pretty
and like
impressive.
4 assists. Yeah, he's
He probably, I don't know how many threes he averages
His-
a game.
his
It's probably
defense is
2. He's probably
unbelievable,
only
too.
averages like 2 threes a game, and him still leading the league in scoring.
yeah, he's the
He's so
most
good.
dominant post player since
Saying
Shaq.
he gets fouled all the time. Yeah, you can't guard him. So like, what are you gonna
So
do?
you're gonna
foul him.
You're gonna foul him. So yeah, no, it's those 3 have definitely been the best 3 in the league, and then
And then LeBron.
LeBron, and I would say Jason Tatum's been a top 5 player this year. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah.
Damian Lillard, honestly,
you
but-
can put him right up.
but
there.
he's
just
he plays on a bad
Trailblazers,
team,
terrible.
so yeah,
33, 46, 13 seed.
yeah.
We've talked about that before.
It's too bad.
Is there anything else we have to add on the NBA, or are we kind of all set?
As of now, we'll do quick. Who do we think will be in the finals? I'll say Celtics, and I'll say why not a Celtics Lakers final? Come on now, why not a
I like
Celtics
that. I
like
Lakers
that.
final? That'd be fun.
I like that.
I'd love to see that. All right, you guys.
So
wanna-
yeah, winning that.
Well, you gotta.
Oh, right,
you gotta do
winning.
yours. Come on.
Oh, who do I have winning that? Ooh. I'll pick the Celtics in 7.
Ooh.
I like that.
What's yours? What do you
I'm
think?
gonna go with the same exact thing. Dude.
Lakers and Celtics
That's
Yeah.
boring.
without
But
any.
I know
analysis?
it's boring, but I mean, like,
Come on,
I
you
think
can't,
I'm gonna
very
go-
possible.
you can't pick someone because he picked.
I'm gonna go Clippers, Bucks.
Ooh, I like it.
I'm gonna go Clippers in 6.
Yeah, Kawhi versus Giannis.
I mean, he already beat him once.
Remember how it happened last time?
Yeah, Paul George. Yeah,
I'm gonna go Bucks, and
Golden State.
I'm gonna go. I mean, yeah, I would. I'm gonna say the Warriors, but I already said that. I'm gonna go with the Phoenix Suns.
Oh, a rematch.
A rematch,
A couple
and I
years
think
ago.
the Bucks win again.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think Phoenix has enough because I don't think they have enough depth.
Their depth is
They're
just
definitely
not there.
You're gonna have Chris Paul guard Drew Holiday. You know, some mismatches there, but and
People
then
will still tell you Chris Paul's a good defender, but that's just not.
That's-
That's not true.
That's
That's-
lazy. You just don't watch games
It's not
enough.
true.
Yeah, but DeAndre Ayton probably guard Giannis. Is DeAndre Ayton stopping Giannis?
No. Well,
And there,
you
plus
could-
you're gonna have Middleton this year, so you're gonna have Middleton. You're gonna have Brook Lopez, a little bit of a 3-point specialist. He
He
can
should.
shoot the ball a little bit.
Well-
Bobby Portis has been pretty good. Joe Ingles, phenomenal shooter.
really good shooter.
Yeah.
When you put, if Giannis is gonna bring the ball up, but when you put Durant and try to have
I was gonna
Durant,
say I would have Durant.
when you
on
have
it.
Durant, but Durant's not gonna be able to stop him driving.
No, he's gonna be too weak to do that.
Right.
So you're just gonna need help.
You're just gonna need help.
You know, I'm just gonna go with the Warriors and Bucks, and I'm gonna have.
I could see the Suns doing it. They would need to play really exceptional offense, and they're gonna have a tough first round series. So if
Yeah.
they're gonna play a
I
seven
mean, they're gonna have to beat the Warriors in the first round,
or the Clipper, whoever it is,
or the Clip, and I don't think they would beat the
it's
Clippers.
a 7
You know what,
game.
I'm changing.
Why is
I'm
this so
going.
awkward?
I'm going Celtics Warriors. Taking Celtics in 7.
Okay, rematch.
Yeah,
I
I'm
would
going
love to
rematch.
see the Kings make it. That'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
It's
De'Aaron
not
Fox
gonna
will lead
happen,
Monk.
but I would love to see it.
Yeah, I mean, them making it even to the second round. would be so
Underrated
nice.
team.
I would say properly rated.
Yeah, properly.
They've played a really good.
I mean, like,
They're a good regular season
They
team right
don't-
now, but they don't have anybody that's.
I was
played.
gonna say they don't have like a big superstar. You know what I mean?
I would say De'Aaron
Guy.
Fox.
You could call him a
I
I would
star.
at this point, dude. He's
He's
really
so
What is he-
good.
Isn't he averaging like 27?
Yeah.
Yeah, 27. Like is it
Probably
like
8. Probably.
Sabonis has been an all-star.
Sabonis
Yeah,
has been.
really
He's been an
fucking
all-star
good,
for the past couple of years. Malik Monk stepped up his
Kieran
scoring.
Fox is 25, 4 and 6,
That's still tough.
and
That's
a
it.
steal a game.
Who else is averaging? Sabonis got maybe like what, 18?
He's probably like 21 points.
18, 19?
19.
Yeah, he's probably
Probably
19
he's leading the league in
and-
rebounds.
19 and 12,
19.
and 7 7
That's
assists.
so good.
Holy shit!
That's so good. Yeah, that's a really good. I
What
mean,
else? What else do they have for depth? You are on
Malik
the
Monk.
Malik Monk. Who is they have another shooter? Oh, they still have
Buddy Hield.
Kevin
Bogdanovich.
Herter.
Yeah, Herter. Yeah. they
Oh,
don't
it's
have-
hurt. Oh,
Yeah,
Keegan Murray, rookie.
Keegan
He's played
Murray.
unbelievable.
Keegan Murray's
too.
played really good ball. Yeah.
Matthew
Monk's
Dellavedova,
averaging
Dellavedova
14.
the
plays.
Curry stopper.
Dellavedova.
Do you know about the legend of Matthew Dellavedova?
He kind of reminds me.
I was
of
just
Matthew
gonna say he's
Dellavedova.
Matthew Dellavedova.
He
literally
might.
reminds
He
me of
low-key
Matthew.
does.
I don't know what that means.
That's a good
So,
name.
that-
Okay,
take
how about we give him a little? So 2015, right?
Right, you were the second best player on the
2015.
Cavs.
Kyrie tore his Achilles, and
Okay.
Kevin Love got like his shoulder
Uh-huh.
separated, so they missed playoffs. And they're in the finals playing Steph Curry.
Okay.
And Matthew Dellavedova was like a role player the whole year, didn't even play. Ends up becoming the second best player on the Cavs in the NBA
Like,
championship.
He was
20
crazy.
points in
And
four
yeah, helped them go to
games, all
6. They won in
hustle,
6 games,
game
right?
3.
Yeah, they won in 6 games.
All
Matthew
right.
He
Dellavedova
was,
All right, then not a
he
bad
really has a
comparison.
Matthew Dellavedova. He
Not a
has
bad
hustle and
comparison.
heart finals. Like that's what.
Also Australian.
What does that have to do with me?
You might be
You just-
Australian.
How am I Australian?
I think you're more Australian than Italian. I think.
I do too.
I don't know about
Get
that.
out of
one.
here. He's,
I don't know
he's
about that
Irish.
one.
He's Irish.
Right here. This is you.
Okay, whatever.
That's a W.
That's a W.
All right. Any more NBA takes, or are we kind of good? Did we cover most
I
of
think we're
it?
good with that.
We're good, baby.
All right. Let's go on to MLB opening weekend. So, what teams look hot so far?
What do we think?
Yeah.
So
The
teams that are looking
The
hot. I'm gonna go with
undefeated team.
my
Rays,
team to
Rangers.
win the AL East. You guys picked the Blue Jays, I think all of you.
Yeah, we all did.
I went
Who are
with
not
the
looking
Tampa
amazing
Bay
right
You
Rays.
know, you switched the Blue Jays. What are you talking about? You had the Rays,
Actually,
and you switched
he's-
the Blue Jays.
He's kind of right
You
about
literally
that.
He is-
If we
he
go
is
back,
right
if we
about
go back
that.
and watch the
If
tape,
If
we
we look
did.
at
You
the
switched
video,
them.
yeah.
You said that we
You
all
went with the
picked
Rays, and you go, you know what? Since you guys are all going, with
But
that,
we'll say that's a surprise.
Well, I said that
team.
because
That's-
you guys were talking about.
I'll
their
give you the
pitching
benefit
depth.
of that.
I didn't think that their pitching depth was going to be good, which so far has not looked too good.
Correct.
And
Fair.
like I said, the Rays, I thought they have an underrated offense. You got Wander Franco playing unbelievable.
Oh,
Randy
yeah.
Rosarania doing what he does. They have a very good lineup. Brandon Lau's going to have a bounce back year.
They just
Pitching.
have consistently
Their pitching is
productive
great.
players.
They have very good bullpen, very
Shout
good
out to
starting
Kevin
pitching.
Cash, man.
Kevin
Best
Cash
manager
keeps
in
doing it.
baseball.
He
He
keeps
is.
doing
Best
it.
manager
He
in
is such
baseball.
I don't
They
know how
just
he
have
does it, but
like
he keeps doing
consistently productive players.
Yes, I don't know how
The
they do
guys
it.
that fire
They're,
And they're
yeah,
not
they're
big,
not, they're
always
not like
productive.
just overly good. Like they're not so good, but they play so.
Like I said on the podcast.
Yandy Diaz is.
I
in
said
my
Randy
opinion,
Rosarina
underrated.
is a sleeper MVP
MVP.
pick, and I
Yeah.
think it might happen this year. Honestly, he's playing really good baseball.
If he keeps it up.
Shout out to the Texas Rangers, man. Shout out to
Yeah,
the Rangers,
your,
baby.
Your pick is looking really
Shout
good
out to
right
them
now.
Rangers.
And the Angels.
Hey,
The
shout out to
are
the
two.
Angels.
They're
I
two.
picked the Angels.
They're
Shout out
two.
to the
Yep,
Angels.
shout out to the
Yeah,
Angels.
both of the
4-2,
surprise
3-2.
teams
Shout
from
out
the
to the
sides of the
Angels,
tape are
man.
looking very
They're
good.
ahead of the Astros.
Oh.
Who are 3-3. Okay.
Shout out
That's a
to
surprise. The Astros being.
I mean, 3-3.
Let's not.
It's
Let's
still
not
early.
overreact.
Let's
Let's
not-
not overreact. But like, yeah, I don't know, man. Like,
Shout out to the Mariners also. My pick to take a step back. Not looking
Yep,
too
they're
great.
what 1-4
That's a good
to
pick.
start.
I mean, it's early. We still
It's very early. You
We're
know,
not
we're
even,
talking two
like-
series,
we're
but
not even like a 30th of the way through the season.
Can we just take
Yeah.
a moment? I just want to shout out he's my favorite baseball player. I
Okay.
just want to shout out Dansby Swanson. Guy is on a tear right now. He's batting 500 through the first 6 games. The Cubs have looked all
does he
right.
lead the league in average now?
He is third, I believe,
Third.
behind Brian Anderson from the Brewers.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He was on the Marlins, and
That Brewers offense looks day and night, by the way. If that Brewers offense plays that well and their pitching can be any way, it won't curb
Yeah,
it.
they've
and
been
the thing
really
they're
good.
winning, and Corbin Burns has not been.
It's
They just
Garrett
they
Mitchell.
just did they sweep?
Garrett
No, they took 2 out of
They
3
could have-
to the Mets.
They could have.
They
a chance.
beat
No, they
Mets.
swept the Mets. They swept the
They
Mets.
swept?
Yeah, they hit the walk off today for the
The
sweep.
Mets have not looked good. Neither. How about we talk about the Phillies?
Yeah, the Phillies have not looked good.
They
You
have-
might run away with that division. You
Really?
might win it by July.
Yeah,
and it might
Honestly,
be
yes.
over.
I'm.
Yeah, the Braves-
I
the
agree with
Braves
that. That
might
division
just
has
be
not
far
been.
away.
It's just injury problems for the Phillies and obviously pitching. You can't win with that pitching when you don't have the bats.
I know, and you
Yeah.
have your star pitchers like Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola getting shelved. So
Yeah.
you're having clear issues there. And
Yeah, they haven't.
I
looked
mean,
good.
the Rangers looked like they were the best hitting team in the MLB against
Yeah.
them. So
They kind of struggled against the O's. The O's took 2 out of 3, but the Orioles have played some really, really good offense. Obviously,
I mean, we've talked about that before.
we can talk about. I mean, the Red Sox, they have not looked fantastic. It's been tough. The bullpen hasn't been. The bullpen actually
The
was
bullpen's
okay.
been better than last
The
year.
bullpen has been
Been better
okay.
than
The
last
back
year.
end of the bullpen has been okay. It's the middle guys that have not been fantastic.
Right, but once you get some of your starters back, then you can move some of the guys you have in the rotation right now into some of those middle relief roles. Cutter Crawford, for example.
Yeah, Cutter Crawford.
also
Maybe
another
even
team we
Tanner
talked about, the Cardinals have not been looking good. I think we all picked them to be division winners.
Yeah, we did.
I don't
all
know.
pick them to be division
I
winners.
swear one of us mentioned that we might think the Brewers could take the one
That was
from
me.
pitching. I
It was-
think it was.
That was me.
It was him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
I could definitely see the Brewers winning that division. I can see the Cubs being a 2. The Cardinals pitching
I
has
mean,
not
we
looked
both
good.
we both picked the Cubs.
I don't
to be a
think the
sneaky
Cardinals
decent
have
team.
like
Because
their
team.
hitting lineup is good, but their pitching is not.
No,
there.
the Braves just. I mean, we're scoring 3 runs in the first inning. Like they just got. They don't have any pitching.
The Reds don't look that bad.
The
I also-
Reds have not looked.
I also
good.
like the Viking celebration.
They have not.
I
Looked
Yeah,
kinda
the
like-
Viking celebrations.
Also,
kinda sick.
shout out the Pirates. They just swept the Red Sox.
4-2.
Mitch
That
Keller
was-
deal today.
Yeah.
Brian Reynolds is
Mitch
looking like
Keller.
and
I can-
Brian Reynolds.
looks like the NL MVP.
I don't think
right
of
now.
any.
Brian Reynolds is a
Mitch
very,
Keller-
very good baseball player.
Mitch Keller went 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned.
Yeah, I mean,
Also, shout out the Diamondbacks. You picked them to be a sneaky team. They have
Yeah.
looked pretty good. I mean, they did. I think they took 2 out of 3. to
what's
the
Corbin
Padres,
Carroll
too.
hitting right now?
I think he's struggling a little bit.
I think he
honestly.
is. Jordan Walker's too.
There've been a couple of
Jordan
defensive
Walker was 2
highlights.
for 4 today, though.
There
Yeah.
have been a couple of defensive
Well,
highlights.
also,
for
we got to
Corbin
remember
Carroll,
these are their first years up, so it's not.
but- Yeah, true.
So, but yeah, you know,
He's batting 261 with 1 home run.
It's so hard to judge all this
3
like,
still
6
hit.
games into the season.
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's an issue.
honestly, the Yankees look okay, right?
They look
They look all right. They look like the Yankees.
The Padres have looked all right.
Xander Bogaerts. looks
Xander
like he-
Bogaerts
Xander
is on
Bogaerts
a
might win
tear.
an MVP. He might
He's
just say,
on a
"I want to win
tear.
an MVP."
He's unbelievable.
I mean, he hit that ball. The 3rd home run of the year. and, like, he barely swung the bat, and the
And it
ball
went
went out of the stadium. I was just like, he's gonna. I
It's
think he's.
almost like he's trying to prove I'm worth this money.
Well, he is.
That's what
He
he
is
the,
worth the
he's
money.
the best
He is
offensive
worth the
shortstop
money.
in baseball. He's not the best shortstop in baseball. I can say he's the best offensive shortstop
I agree
in
with that.
baseball. But no, and then the Machado thing. What is with umpires and these
They're so
ejections?
soft.
That was very soft.
They're so soft.
What about the one in spring training?
You
Who
should be able
was,
to throw umpires out of the game.
who was the, who was the one catching? Was it Real Milton?
JT Rubio.
When he got caught out.
Yes.
He did this,
Yes, that's right.
and then he put it
Like,
down.
to
And
hit the ball.
he thought, what was it? He thought the ump
He
was
thought the
gonna
ump was
throw
going
this
to give him the
picture.
ball.
Yes,
I wondered, it wasn't the same up, was it?
I don't think so.
I hope not. If
Who
it
was
was,
the
that
ump
guy
that
needs to
ejected
go.
Machado?
I don't know. I could tell.
Didn't he say something like
It was because he called him a D-bag. He called-
Machado said that?
Yeah, I saw the video yesterday. It was a
Yeah,
slowed
he
down
called him
video
D-bag.
of
Well, if you
like,
any
reading lips.
oh,
of
was it John
everyone.
Boy?
I think
It was
I-
John
I
Boy.
think it was John
It
Boy.
was
Yeah,
John Boy.
and I showed it to you two on the bus ride home yesterday.
If anybody says if you say you to the umpire, if you say you, like I say, you suck to the umpire, then toss. There's if you say you, you say it directly, then
That's what it is.
it's if you say you, you're gone. You can be like, this is terrible. It can be like, I don't. That's a bad call. You could be,
Or
a,
when it gets
but
personal.
when you say you or you're
Like
terrible.
You.
What do you think? Like, what do you think should be the line where someone gets ejected?
Well, I think also you can't be saying stuff about them. I mean, but I also think that you need to have a layer of thick skin. I feel like if he just called you
If
a
you're
D bag, you just got to deal with it.
yeah,
But if he's calling you, an MF or like
Yeah,
anything
like
like
some
that,
crazy
like
shit.
you can't be. You
That's
can't.
fair. Then I would, if I was him, I'd be like, come on, guy, get out of
Get
here.
out of here. Get stepping. Get
But
stepping.
honestly, I think personally for me, I've done some limited umpiring and I've been yelled
I
at
have
by
too.
little league coaches, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, just keep stepping, all right? Just,
Yeah.
Get stepping. Get
like,
out of
like
here.
let me do my job.
and it's just
Exactly,
like
yeah.
whatever.
Like I'm working here. I'm
No, because
working
nobody's
here.
Yeah,
perfect. Nobody's perfect.
Nobody's perfect. So it's tough.
The thing was, Machado was complaining. Didn't he just get a?
He was
strikeout?
adjusting his batting, so he got called like for strike 3.
Well, get in the damn batter's box.
Yeah.
You know the
know the
pitch
rule.
clock.
That
Yeah,
It's a
I
rule
mean,
now.
answers it.
it's just veterans that
are not used to it yet.
are not used to it yet.
And I think
yeah.
that's an advantage right now with some minor league guys, is
Oh,
that they've been
yeah.
dealing with these
They've-
rules for
yeah.
a while, so they're completely.
It's actually
used.
been insane. When I watch a game now, like I'm used to going to the bathroom or something in between innings. I can't even do that anymore. I'm just like,
Because
oh,
the game's
they're
already-
back. They're back.
Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
we should talk about this.
the game. What?
Talk about the Sandy.
Yeah. So the game times are down ridiculous.
Braves
To-
just beat the Cardinals today in 2 hours and 29 minutes.
Yeah, games are so
Shout out
far
Matt
down
Olson.
that
Matt Olson.
Matt Olson was, dude. It was because he faced Mike McCullough.
Mike Michaelis.
Michaelis.
He rakes off of him.
That's your ace. Matt Olson has not hit
Miles
lefties.
Michaelis.
Steve Matz made Matt Olson look like a little leaguer in the box. Matt Olson could not hit lefty. But once you get like a righty sitting there throwing 90, Matt Olson had he just was killing.
Hit one today. Hit a double today, right?
He had
He's been on a tear.
2 doubles and a home run, I think.
So going back to the game time. So there have been some. I don't know if this is the shortest game in history, but it has to be on the list. Sandy Alcantara complete game shutout in 1 hour and 57 minutes. Like it's almost unheard of to have
It's like 90.
a Major League
Yeah.
Baseball game in under 2 hours.
Yeah, it's
It's
awesome.
almost unheard of.
It is not
Oh
the shortest
my
game in history was in 1919. The
Oh.
Giants and Phillies recorded 51 outs in 51 minutes.
51
This might
minutes.
be the
Wow.
craziest pitch.
Okay. But
So
I mean, this has to be on the list of
He had
shortest
no
games,
idea
or
what to
it's
do.
it's getting close to the point. But on the note of game times through the first 4 days of 2020. So this is a tweet I saw from Jeff Passan. So the first 4 days, basically 50 games in 2023. The game time is down basically a half hour compared to what it was last year. It's 2 hours and 38 minutes on average across the league this year, and it was 3 hours and 9 minutes last year across the league through the first roughly 50 games. So, obviously the rules have made a huge difference. Do you guys want to stop this now, or do you want to just
Let's
quickly
just finish it.
up?
Let's
Just finish the
quickly.
podcast.
Just finish it up? Okay, cool.
We don't got much left.
So speaking of, rule changes making differences, batting average is up from 230 to 245. We're seeing a lot more
Mhm.
hits,
We like that.
particularly a lot more singles are getting through the infield because of the lack of shift.
Yeah.
Particularly for lefty hitters, I've noticed a lot more hits up the middle too. Specifically, a lot of guys.
Working up the middle.
Yeah. I mean, that's a great approach, for a major league hitter, just going up the middle. Like it had been taken away
For
from the
any hitter.
game. What?
For
And any hitter.
You utilize
But-
the middle of the field really well.
But now, like major league hitters can use the middle of the field very well without having the shift because, it's something that had kind of been taken away from the game in
Yeah.
recent years. Stolen bases are also up from a 67.4% success rate in 2022 to an 83.3%
We
success
like that.
rate in 2023. And there have only been 0.8 pitch clock violations per game so far, which honestly doesn't seem that bad to
It's
me.
almost one a game.
That doesn't seem that bad to me for
It's
this
been
early
like
in
that
the
in the
season.
minors.
And it'll get better as everyone gets used to the
it's
new
time to
rules
progress this
too.
through the season.
I want to give a shout out to who is the kid that throws the ghost pitch?
Kodai
Cody
Senga.
Senga.
Holy!
It's
sh-
really
it is actually insane. It's just I don't know where it's going.
Did you see the overlay of like his fastball and the ghost
Yes.
pitch? It is.
I don't
crazy.
even know. Is it like a forkball? What is it?
It's
Yeah,
it's
what's
called
his
a
name?
fork ghost
Coda,
pitch.
what?
Kodai Senga. for the Mets.
No, it's called a ghost fork. That's what it's called. It's a ghost
He's on the
fork.
Mets.
It's like the greatest pitch I've ever seen in my life. It's just,
Yeah.
It just
The drop is just
Ghost
insane.
and he threw really well too.
He throws
Yeah.
100 for the
Yeah, he
fastball.
threw
That was
well.
really good.
He's like in his 30s too. He's really good.
Yeah. So, we've seen a lot more offensive games, a lot more high scoring games. And I think that's about all we can take away from opening weekend.
Yes.
is, you know,
Absolutely.
I'm
rule
just glad
changes are
baseball's
working.
back.
Baseball's
Yeah,
back.
baseball's back and here to stay. Thank God.
And shout out to St. Joe's JV team.
So thank you guys for listening. We're gonna have to end now, but go check us out on social media, 3bros.onebuddy on Instagram and TikTok. And we always appreciate you guys listening. Have a good day.
See ya.
Yep.
See ya.
See ya, people.
Peace out, everyone.
See
See ya, guy.
pal.